Hey, hey, hey. How's it going? How are we out there at this 2 p.m. on a Wednesday? Some of us like to call it a little hump day. Are we feeling like we're getting over the hump? Where are we at? How we feeling? How are the people feeling? So, I can tell you guys, like, I am feeling pretty good. Pretty good. It's a great day. It's been just, I mean, a good day. You know, when you start your day out and you literally are ready, you slept well, you had pockets of rest the day before, just kind of full of energy, ready to go. Had my goals mapped out for today, my tasks and what I wanted to do. It's just been a really, really good day. And look, this live is for me, yes, to tell you guys what I've been doing and what I've been up to. But please, please, please don't hesitate to hop in the chat, say, hey, let me know what's been going on because this whole thing, life been lifing. I know some of us use it in a way of life has been or has been overwhelming or is overwhelming. But when I said it life is lifing, that means like I am really living this fulfilled life of purpose, of passion, of productivity, like all the P words, like all of the P words. Um, some of you absolutely know that in the last couple years, your girl, that would be me, not only became pregnant, but actually gave birth to a 10-pound, 1 ounce baby boy. London. So that's yeah, let me just sit that right there. For those who didn't know, Imma just sit that right there for a minute. And while you're thinking about that, I'm gonna give you a little of the backstory because 'cause I've heard so many times people say, oh my gosh, you're starting over, you're starting over. Woo, that's a huge gap." And my thoughts are when I decided to go from owning I Choose Me to creating another business, LaShasta Bell, to creating a third business with two amazing partners, Try Accountability. No one said to me, oh my gosh, you're starting over. That's a long gap. You're gonna go all the way back. So it's interesting for me as to how um, our society has conditioned us to have this set of beliefs of life should look a certain way. And I mean, I'm unbothered by it, but it's just intriguing that that's the first comment. Yet when I talk about business and creating new projects and things of that nature, no one references it as starting all over. Because literally they know that whatever I learned from the first business and whatever I did in the first business, I'm gonna take it and apply the things to the second business that worked and the things that didn't, I'm not. So same thing. But London, Mr. London was prayed for, he was hoped for, he was dreamed for. He is truly a manifest dream that my husband and I had. We decided some years ago, it was almost about 7 at the time that I found out I was pregnant with London, that we were not done parenting. In our gut, in our spirits, in our hearts, we had more parenting in us. Now, at this time, KJ, now we used to call him Junior, but now he's KJ. So if you see him on the street, don't hit him with the Junior. Go ahead and hit him with the KJ. I'm learning, he's a whole 18-year-old. So I think KJ was about 10, maybe. Yeah, about 10 when we decided we wanted to expand our family. And the first thing that we decided was to adopt. And we went through that process. We did all the paperwork. We went through the fostering process, and a little girl was placed with us. Now, some of you who know me personally know that journey, and you were able to meet her and engage with her. And she was an amazing young lady, and she was older. We went towards the older range for them to be closer in age. But long story short, the system didn't tell us all the details, and some of the details that were left out were detrimental to our household. And so we had to release that process. And it left our household in a bit of a depression, not a bit of a depression, in a depression. It was hard for all of us. And so fast forward, we think about it, um, and we decide, okay, let's try it like the old fashioned way. The only problem about the old fashioned way is that we had made a decision years ago that would prevent the old fashioned way from taking place. So that decision was reversed with a reversal and in 2018. And so 2019 happens and 2020 happens. And of course, there's a whole pandemic in 2020. And let me just tell you, the world was not the only thing that was in the pandemic. I'm going to tell y'all that story one of these days about how life really did life in 2020 for me and my family. And what we thought was turning us upside down was really turning us right side up so we could stand in our power. But that's a whole other thing. But anyway, so 2020 happens, 2021, we moved to Austin about May. My husband is recruited to become part of a project that was history making at the time. And we all said, let's go do this. It's nothing greater than to be part of something great and to be able to have that legacy. And we find ourselves in Pflugerville, Texas, not knowing anybody, or we thought we didn't know anybody. Come to find out, my husband knew somebody on the street. But if y'all know, senior, he knows somebody everywhere. It's not a place he can't go without somebody, him running into somebody, and he knows somebody. But so we're there, trying to adjust, trying to acclimate. We decide to go to Turks and Caicos for Christmas because that's usually what we do. We kind of travel for Christmas every other year. Been that way for years when we had the girls and was blending the family. Well, let me back up. Once we moved to Austin, I then had a conversation with my husband. We kind of both sat down and was like, you know what? We were hopeful about expanding our family. We was giving it to, 42 and 45. We're coming up on 42 and 45 next year. It may just not be in the cards, and we can make peace with that. Let's focus on uh, KJ and getting, his last couple of years at home, and let's just move forward, right? And okay, cool. So September rolls around, and I'm like, y'all, look, your girl, my menstrual cycles was crazy. I told my husband, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and order some birth control and wrap this up. I know we said 20, 42 and 45, which would be April and May of 2022, but I'm tired. And my husband was like, I hear what you're saying. I understand it's been kind of crazy. However, I went through 2 surgeries for us to be in this space, so I kinda, like, feel some kinda way about wrapping up early, like wrapping up. I didn't mean to be funny, but I'm funny. I'm a little cheesy too, but y'all know me. So I said, "Okay, cool." And he was like, "No, but I understand. Your cycle's been crazy." So I ordered the birth control, right? And now we're getting ready to go to Turks and Caicos in December. I'm waiting on the birth control because who does not want to be in a beautiful place dealing with a not so beautiful thing? It's your girl. We're there, y'all. We have a great time. I'm cramping and I'm like, oh, look at God holding my menstrual cycle because the birth control didn't come before we left. Long story short, get back home. I'm not feeling well. Thought I had COVID. I'm like, well, I guess I eventually was going to get it like most people. Went to get testing, no COVID. I look up and it's January 1st, 2022. And your girl still did have her aunt Flo coming. And I was like, wait, hold on. What's going on here? So I had old birth control tests. Some of them was expired because in the beginning of this process, let me tell you, I could have bought stock in birth control because I was testing every day, once a week, just anticipating this space and wanting something so very badly. And what I should have shared and I will share is I didn't just want a baby. I wanted a baby girl. I felt like life had cheated me out of the experience, the full experience of having daughters. I have 2 bonus daughters, and it always seemed to me and felt like I was getting the short end of things. When there was crisis, when there was pain, when there was a problem to be solved, I would be at the top of the list. Any other time, I sometimes didn't even make the list. And it just became so very painful. And even when I would see my friends with their daughters, it was just this aching inside of me that I longed for so many years. Because let me help you understand. Those bonus daughters, I've been in their life for a very, very long time before they started school. And so there were rough patches that in my mind, I'm like, you know what? As they get older, things will get changed. It will get better. I'm in my mind planning 18th birthday celebrations and when they turn 21, let's go to Vegas. All of these things that I anticipated started to slowly crumble. And I started to realize that would not be my reality. So I didn't want just a baby, just a healthy baby. I wanted a healthy baby girl. So of course I had to go to therapy because I didn't have money. We were not going to alter the gender of a baby if I were to get pregnant. And I went through that therapeutic process to work through that desire that was so strong and what it was connected to. And you know, roots run deep. Roots run deep. And most of the roots are connected to things in our childhood. So I really had to sit with that. I really had to sit with that. So the day is New Year's Day that I find out that I'm pregnant. New Year's Day 2022. And I said, "Okay, Lord, you're funny, and I have concluded you really are a male because we said no later than, not at." You know, men, sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. It's selective. I'm sorry, fellas. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Maybe not. And so here it is, New Year's Day of 2022, and I find out I'm pregnant. And my husband asked me, like, "What do you think you're having?" I say, "I'm having a boy." I can feel it in my gut. Like, I can already feel that. And he was like, "Well, how do you feel?" And I had made peace at this point with not being a biological mother to a daughter because I'm not gonna X out the young ladies that have cultivated relationships with me that are mother-daughter like, or even my niece who I love so much, um, even the relationship that we have. So here we are, 2022. Now, I have been for the last couple years with a group of friends having a sleepover that I call a strategic planning sleepover, where we get together, we plan our quarters, we talk about personal and professional barriers, and we just really have a good time of helping one another break through the barriers, see the barriers, produce content, whatever it is. So, mind you, we met like the November of 21. All of 22 already had a plan, and a baby was not part of that plan. I had made peace with that. I had made peace with there not possibly being a baby. And so now here I am, a business owner, not of one business, but of 2 businesses, 41 years old, nearing 42, and pregnant. Yeah, with a son that's going into no, that was in his senior year. So KJ's in his senior year, mommy is pregnant, or ma is pregnant. Imagine that. Can you imagine the joy and now even some hesitation, some fear, overwhelmed, trying to now figure out what will life look like in the next 10 months and after, especially when the visions that I had had of life looking like having a second child, I had released those visions and replaced it with something else. So I was like, all right, let's do this. I had people around me that I like to affectionately call my security team that would help me to secure my peace my rest, and even my sleep when my brain would go into a anxiety mode or into a crisis mode, and I struggle to remember what my resources are. And let me tell you, if you don't have a security team or you wanna know more about a security team, just stay tuned because your girl gonna bring it to you. I'm gonna bring it to you. There are so many things that took place over the last couple years, not just with my physical body, but my spiritual being that has allowed all things in life to make more sense and where I am personally and professionally to be just the perfect space and place to be. Now, as you can see on the screen, I became a certified sleep coach somewhere in this process too. And what led to that is doing the work with mental health profession with clients and understanding anxiety was like disrupting the sleep. If I could help them sleep better, anxiety would decrease, stress would decrease, the worry would decrease, and then I could teach them how to work the worry. And so all the things that I've been doing with mental health clients, I've now chosen to go on the other side of the counseling model, so to speak, and to the consulting and coaching model where I can give the information, I can give the strategies, and there's implementation. Because also along this journey, after 11 years, your girl got out the mental health chair. Now, let me tell you, that was hard. Now, at this point now, I've birthed 2 babies. So I can say that was right up there with giving birth, because one came naturally and London came by cesarean, which him coming by cesarean rocked my being. I can tell you that. There was never ever a plan for a C-section. There was always the plan for a birth. And you guys are gonna keep hearing me say about a plan and then a plan change. So understanding that you can have your plan, but be flexible and be willing to let the plan change because typically it's going to be for your best good. The God I serve says that it's for your best good, that it was for my best good. And after almost 2 days of being in labor, my body would not allow itself to get to the place where I could push London out. My doctor was like, "All right, that's it. You exhausted. We're not doing this anymore. This afternoon, you're gonna have a C-section." So while it was an emergency C-section, it was a planned emergency C-section. Like it wasn't my doctor knew me well enough to know that you're not gonna tell me at 8 o'clock there I'm gonna have a C-section and at 8:05 we're going in the operating room. No, sis, I need some time with this. And so she gave me the day and we thought about it, we prayed about it. We knew that we trusted her. We trusted the doula that we had in place. And let me tell you, these things are valuable. And at 24, when I had KJ, I didn't know these things. But by 42, having London, I knew exactly what I needed and who I needed in the room and why. And those people were in place. Long story short, if I would have started to push, we would have had a not so great situation because London was not in position for me to push and he and I both be well. So when I say when you have a plan and there's a delay or there's a disruption or there's a denial, to truly count it all joy because God really is working and has something greater on the other side. If I would have been adamant about, no, that's not the plan. I want to push. I want to push it truly would have been a situation that could have been life-threatening for myself or in London or for both of us. So all of these things are happening and taking place, and mind you, I'm still figuring out and understanding what am I to do with my purpose and my passion and the rest of my plan. What I do know and what I can tell you for sure is while I did not quite know what was next, I knew that God had already orchestrated every single step, and all I had to do was show up and be obedient. That's all I had to do is show up and be obedient. So after my mom had a ailment and we went to go see about her, This is about March. So London has is born. He's been here a few months. I had to make the tough decision to leave the mental health chair. Now, God had already told me to leave, like a year before, maybe more than a year. But when I became pregnant, some of my clients feared that when I went on maternity leave, I wouldn't come back. And I did not want to leave them with that fear. And so I returned from my maternity leave. So I guess I went on maternity leave in August until November. By the next April of 23 of this year, I was done seeing mental health clients. Y'all, since then, can I just say, since then, there has not been one single thing that has taken place that didn't make sense. And some things that have taken place, I literally had to release that space so that I could have the capacity to hold what God had for me. One of my friends said, people like to think that boundaries are you miss out when you set boundaries. That you're gonna miss out on something because you're not allowing this person access to you or you won't go to this place or this thing. But truly when we set boundaries, we create space for what's for us. When I created that boundary and when I made a decision that my time was no longer best served sitting with the clients one on one, because there was a message that God gave me that the masses needed to hear, it freed up some things. It freed up a lot of things. So, long story short, because you guys been rocking with me for a few minutes, is that in the last couple of years, I have been blessed to have dreams come true. I have been blessed to have questions answered. I have been blessed to have questions go unanswered because sometimes you just got to ask yourself, what's the value in it? If the Lord has disconnected you from something or you have released something, do you really even need to know the why beyond God said so? Beyond it's not in your favor, it's not the best thing. So not everything has been roses. Well, not even roses, because I don't even like roses. It hasn't been peanut butter and chocolate, because those are two of my favorite things. However, I have chosen to reframe any experience so that I experience it in the best way that's beneficial for me and my forward movement. So even when I was down because I had a C-section and needed help and support, the reframe was, I have help and support. So I could need it and not have it, but I have it, so let me lean into it. It helped me to strengthen my muscle of asking for help. Because there was times that I sent a text message to the cavalry. I am drowning. I need help. And when I tell you my A1s down like both flats came through in the time that it takes to get from Houston to Austin. And each came and staggered through. And by the time they left that weekend, everything that I needed was taken care of and more. So it allowed me to become a better person, even when it was not the best situation. So I'm going to be going live more frequently, sharing more of the journey, sharing more of what I'm up to, because literally what I'm up to is what every person needs. And that's to understand how to secure your peace, your rest, and your sleep. I'm not even going to go there because I'll be on this live a whole nother 20 minutes. But do understand this, for each day and each moment that you choose to hand over your peace, you choose to ignore your rest, you choose to deprive yourself from sleep, you are literally killing yourself. You're killing your dreams, you're killing your motivation, you're killing your physical wellness, you're killing your mental wellness. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to. You literally can live life on your terms because life is a strategy, y'all. And we need systems to address and to create strategy and to implement the strategy. It takes systems and it takes other people, but why not live your best life? If you want another child, why not have another child? If you want another dog, why not get another dog? If you wanna travel, why not travel? Speaking of travel, because one thing the people would ask me, because if you know me, then you know I traveled a lot prior to London. And some people will ask, like, "Well, what you gonna do when the baby's born?" I'm like, "What you mean? Babies travel." So to date, London is a little bit over 1, and he's taken 5 flights. His first flight was in December. He was born August 30th, so not even 4 months was the first time that he flew. He's been to 3 different states, and before the year is out, he'll probably have his first stamp in his passport. I don't know. I just know that all things are possible, especially for those who love the Lord according to his purpose and plan. And I'm here to love the Lord and keep loving the Lord. So what I've been up to, that's it. Somebody was looking for me. Here I go. Here I am, LaShasta Bell, the professional sleep strategist, certified sleep coach, licensed professional counselor supervisor, mom, wife, friend, sister. But at the end of the day, I'm just this woman working very hard each day to live life intentionally and to be present in every moment of life so that it does not pass me by. Y'all take care. See you soon. I hope you join me in the next live.